Michael Stone from 97.1 The Ticket joins us.
How are you, Brad?
I am fantastic. It is good to see you.
Good to see you.
I like the turtleneck going on
Thank you very much.
It's an early morning for Stoney tomorrow, so he is here. We're taping this before the Lions game ends, but there's still plenty to talk about.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's actually a good thing, probably. But, yeah, the Lions are still on everybody's mind besides the game. You know, this week it comes out that, you know, an unnamed teammate goes after Ndamukong Suh a little bit.
Anonymous gets around, as Gunther Cunningham said. I think it's silly. It was a story that I kind of looked at once and just glanced over, because if it gets to that point in the season, that's ridiculous. And you know a core guy on this team's not going to do that.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I mean, you would think that a guy who would say it would put his name to it if he had any cojones, so to speak. But, you know, the guy who wrote it for Yahoo, Jason Cole's a very respected football writer. It's not that he made something up. Now, it might have been at the heat of the moment because they lost that game to Indianapolis last week. But I put some stock in it. There's a lot of players on that team that aren't so cool with him, because it seems it's always about himself, and it's the national, you know, exposure that he loves.
Right. To
refresh, and you know what? When they lose games, even when they win, but especially when they lose games, do you ever hear him talk after a game?
No, he skirts out of there as fast as he can.
Of course.
But what I will give him credit for, and to refresh everybody, an anonymous player ripped Ndamukong Suh for the way he handles games and takes plays off. I like the way he handled the situation. For the first time, I think, all season, maybe since he's been here, he came out to his detractors and said, people don't like me. I get it. People don't like me. There are some people that do like me.
That was an answer to the Indianapolis guy from the week before.
Right.
He hasn't addressed his teammate yet. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that.
It's an issue every week with him, and we'll see. The way he's played, at least last week in Indianapolis,
he's played better.
A good analogy that was made to me was kind of like Chris Chelios. When he was against the Red Wings for so long, he was the kind of guy you hated and dreaded playing. The Wings finally got him, and it was great. Let's have this guy on our team. When Suh plays up to his caliber, then people enjoy him as a Lion.
Of course, there's no doubt about it. He's a force when he. But they have decisions that they have to make because of the salary cap. Him, Stafford, obviously Calvin was extended before the season, and unfortunately they might have a very good draft pick. So which is sad to talk about at this point. I know.
In the season,
so we won't. But right now, they could be, one of the worst teams in football.
Flipping the switch, one of the best teams in college basketball, Michigan, I think. Safe and sound, at least through 9 games. They look fantastic, and Trey Burke is fantastic as well.
They look, and they're fun to watch too.
They are.
Which is really cool from a fan's perspective. Trey Burke has been outstanding, and everybody was talking about Mitch McGary. Here's this, this great freshman coming in. Somehow, Glenn Robinson slipped under the radar. I mean, he's just been amazing, and unfortunately, he's getting so much publicity. There's like an NBA draft site that has him picked, early in the first round already. It's like, let him play a year, or 2 years. No, don't leave now.
What I love about watching them is they're not the live and die by the 3 anymore. They have the inside presence. They have McGary. They have Morgan, who has surprised everybody, I think, the way he's developed.
Well, when he's on, they are a really, they could be considered a great basketball team because they have the inside and the outside. And the guy who's really surprised me, maybe, because he didn't get the hype, is Stauskas. He's just been outstanding.
He has been. And the Pistons on the professional side of things, I said at the beginning of the season, I think they're going to make the playoffs. People called me crazy, but in the way the NBA works, I'm not saying they're going to be a threat in the playoffs. I think they're going to make it. They're proven lately that they have the growth, at least, that people were hoping for.
Most of the games there are actually fun to watch, too. But look, can't get too excited. They've blown out or beaten Cleveland twice, who didn't have Kyrie Irving. So, look, Brandon Knight's been really good the last couple of weeks. Monroe has not. I still think Drummond should play more. I understand that you're trying to win games, but when you get a 19-year-old kid, just let him play. The playoffs means nothing. Okay, yeah, they'll make it, but they're not winning the championships. You just let these guys get as much experience as possible.
What do you make of the now already tired argument of not putting Monroe and Drummond in together?
I think they should at times, because that's what it's going to be, although Monroe has to shore up his defensive skills too, because when he's out there, defending a 4, sometimes it's ridiculous, like when he had to defend Kevin Durant twice early in the season.
I'll give you time for your Stonehead here, because it's a serious topic. It's a disappointing one, but it's an obvious one.
Yeah, you got to give the Stonehead to Dallas Cowboy Josh Brent. For those of you who don't know, he got a car accident, and one of his teammates, Jerry Brown, passed away in the car accident, and he was, charged with DUI. He's in jail right now with like a $500,000 bond. And the reason that Josh Brent is a Stonehead is because you look at his history. he spent time in jail for a DUI when he was a student at the University of Illinois. And professional athletes, it's about time. I mean, you see this happen time and time again. You guys make a nice living, hire a driver. If one of your friends is not going to be a designated driver, call a cab, or you can have a service. I mean, you make enough money, that should be a priority. If you're going to go party, get driven home. It's ridiculous.
I agree with you. It's tough to start these Sundays with these tributes to fallen players 2 weeks in a row. It's unbelievable.
It's bad.
It's not cool. Mike Stone, 97.1, mornings from 6 to 10. Thank you, as always.
All right, Brad, good to see you.
Can I throw you on the spot actually real quick?
Yeah.
Lions win or lose tonight?
Oh, because we're doing this before the game?
Right, so
Oh, not really. They're losing.
Okay. All right, that's it. We'll be back.